Hey guys, what's going on? Back with another video. Today I'm going to be talking about my OutRun sit-down cabinet, and I feel like this video needed to be made now for a lot of reasons. Personally, I got my cabinet right around the time I think like Kong's R Us got it when he did his first review of it, and I had it set as a Christmas present, so I just kept it in the garage until Christmas, so I didn't unbox it and do a review of it or nothing like that. So by the time I opened it up on Christmas, I just felt like, it wasn't really much of a reason to do a video about it. Fast forward, it's been close to 2 months now, and I thought it would be interesting to just kind of go and talk about what my impressions are of the cabinet, how I feel about it, 2 months down the road after the fact. And why I think it's important is because this is we have a lot of cabinets, your MVC cabinets, your Street Fighter versus X-Men. I think all these are just not available. There's not many cabinets that that are newer cabinets that you can actually get a hold on, get your hands on, get a grab, grab and feel them. Like the pinballs they're on their way out, but there's issues with that. So there's just a lot of issues as far as what cabinets we can and cannot get. And this is one that, at least as of today, there is still some available on GameStop. I keep seeing them on GameStop for $5.50. And I've seen people make videos about the OutRun cabinet and they're just torn, like, I just don't know, $5.50 seems to be a lot, and so I wanted to give my perspective. So this is coming from someone who is an actual Sega fanboy. So admittedly, you can take this with a grain of salt if you wish. I currently have 8 cabinets. I have the OutRun sit down. I have the Street Fighter 12-in-1 cocktail, NBA Jam, Marvel Superheroes, and then I got the TMNT cabinet that I've done modded, and that plays any game up that you want to play. I got the Galaga game cabinet modded so I can play my cave shooters on a vertical screen. I got my Pac-Man cabinet modded, so I basically can play pretty much any game that I want to, for the most part. And I have every cabinet that, for the most part, that I want. The only one I would really replace, I really would like that Marvel vs. Capcom cabinet. I'd like to replace that with the Marvel Superheroes. So I don't have every cabinet, but I have every one that I really want. Waiting on the pinball to see what those are like. This is no doubt head and shoulders, light years ahead of every other cabinet that I own. So I just thought I wanted to talk about it for that reason. I know people are just like, don't know if they want to get it, and I get it. Admittedly, it takes up a lot of room. I have 4 cabinets sitting across from me right now, and those were all, or I guess a couple of them were sitting over here. So I had cabinets lined up across the wall over here, and to fit this where it's at, I basically had to reorganize, the game room or arcade room to put it here. And I don't regret it for 1 second. It's the most immersive cabinet that I have. It's the most enjoyable cabinet that I have. Just bottom line. I mean, I'm a Sega fanboy, but I mean, I don't have the Golden Axe cabinet even. So I mean, I thought about getting the Golden Axe cabinet, but there was really no reason, because I had my TMNT cabinet modded with the Pipe 4, and it played everything that I needed to play. That's kind of why I haven't got the Marvel vs. Capcom cabinet. There's really no reason for me to get it. I want it. I could replace my Marvel Superheroes cabinet with the Marvel vs. Capcom one, but there's it's not that big of a deal to me. This one just is so much fun, and a lot of you guys who have kids as well. I know a lot of you have kids, and like you get the cabinet. Like I get a lot of cabinets for, my kids don't need anything as far as Christmas or birthdays. I don't know what to get them, so sometimes I'll just get them a cabinet just to get them. And I'm sure probably some of y'all do the same thing. And they think they're fun and they're cool, and they may play them for a little bit. And if you're lucky, maybe they continue to play them. But a lot of kids these days, they have short attention spans. My kids have access to everything. They got PS5, PS4, Switch, PSVR. So I mean, it's hard to, old arcade cabinets, it's hard to keep their attention span for a long time. So they may play for a little bit and then they just go off and do something else. And this is the one cabinet that I'll come down in the morning you know, be drinking my coffee and I hear them turn this on, you know, my 6-year-old daughter, my 8-year-old twins, and just come in and they're just playing this and having fun. And, you know, that's really important, you know, to me as a father, and I know a lot of you as well, just you know, trying to find just the racing aspect of it, the driving, the racing aspect, the immersion, it's so much better than anything else that we've gotten so far from Arcade1Up. And I think that's why I think it's just worth noting. If you're, you know, sometimes people kind of like, I think, want their kids or whatnot to like arcade cabinets that they like, or like games that they like, but racing and driving just in general is like something that, you know, a lot of us, like when we went to arcades, would gravitate, you know, towards, just like a sit down racing cabinet. And this doesn't do it, you know, obviously as good as the original or something like that. Like probably my dream cabinet would be to have an OutRun 2 original cabinet. And I was actually talking about that with a good friend of mine right before they dropped this. I'm like, you know, that's my, you know, end game, is to have a OutRun 2 sit down dual cabinet. I want to get one of those eventually, like, you know, like an original one. And then a couple of days later they dropped this, and it was a no-brainer. I obviously ordered it. So, like, you know, OutRun to me is definitely one of my favorite games of all time. It's a hard game. There's a lot of games I'm like pretty good at. OutRun is not necessarily one of them. I don't know that I've ever even beaten OutRun. I'm close. I've gotten close on this cabinet, but I'm not quite there yet. So it's actually a pretty good game. But you get the 4 games, and then you also get that free game, I think, Rad Rally, which I'll kind of go over how you get that. But I just wanted to like just touch base on that. Like, I know a lot of y'all who collect the cabinets are kind of like, you know, like I'm 40. I know a lot of y'all are in that kind of like 30s, 40s. You may or you may not have kids. So a lot of you do, I know. And this is one that I think that the kids, regardless of they may not care for Street Fighter or Pac-Man or whatnot, but just something that you can sit down and drive on with pedals. For them, it's fun. And for me, it's definitely just it's the best experience. It's the most immersive experience, and it's the one that I, you know, like I said, it's been close to 2 months now. Like the TMNT cabinet was the cabinet that got me into Arcade1Up, because that's the games that just, you know, was so nostalgic for me. But I know as a lot of y'all feel that TMNT cabinet, it's just the replayability on it is just not that great. I've beaten Ninja Turtles on the NES and in the arcade like countless times. So like, it's a gorgeous looking cabinet. I'll probably never get rid of it. That's why I modded it, because it's like it was just sitting there, not getting played. I love it. I love decorating around it, putting Ninja Turtle themed stuff around it. But at the same time, it was just not getting used by me or by the kids. So that's why I ended up modding it. I think the only reason to get that cabinet is to mod it, for, you know, to be honest. But the OutRun cabinet is just one. The games on it are great. The gameplay is great. If there is a cabinet that is worth the price, it is the OutRun cabinet. And now, if you are not a fan of Sega, you're not a fan of driving and racing. I'm not even like racing, driving games and racing games. I rarely ever play them, to be honest. Like, OutRun is one of the few racing games or driving games. I mean, OutRun is actually technically a driving game, not a racing game, but it's one of the few like driving games / racing games that I play. So it's not even a genre that I really desire that much. I much prefer shooters, platformers, third person, you know, action RPG, stuff like that. But it's just a game that I like. So if you're someone that I feel that if you're a OutRun fan and you have no cabinets, this is the cabinet. Like, if you don't have any other cabinet and you're an OutRun fan, or you're a fan of driving games or racing games, this is the one cabinet that you need to have. If you don't care for Sega, you don't care for OutRun, you don't care for any of those things, I get that. Then it's probably something that you're just, you know, it's maybe not be for everyone. But like I said, as big of a Sega fan as I am, I felt zero need to get the Golden Axe cabinet. I just really didn't. But this was a cabinet that I had to get, and I got it. I've had it for a couple months now, and just the time that I've spent on it has been worth it. The time that all 3 kids have spent on it has been worth it, and I just want to just bring that up, because I know a lot of you are like I said, I've seen many YouTubers just say that they don't know if the value is there, they don't know if they can get it. And I will admit that there is a problem as far as where to put it. You have to When I get my pinball tables, I'll probably actually put it out coming this way in my game room. So like putting it in your game room is a bit of a problem. They have the stand-up one that is coming, and it is same. I think it's $550. I think it's the same price. I actually thought of waiting for that one, and I'm glad that I didn't. I'm not saying that the stand-up one won't be good. It probably will be. I just don't think it will be the same experience. The sit-down one is just, in my opinion, the way to go. You have to, you know, if you don't want to make that sacrifice in your game room, then I would say definitely just get the stand-up one, I guess. But for me, like this is the way to go. And I'll kind of just get in and show some gameplay and just show what I've done to it, and also just maybe go over to how to add that extra game as well. All right, so here at the screen, and like I said, I'll show you with the adapter and the cable that I had got to add Rad Rally. You can obviously add that for free. I'm curious if actually when they get the sit down or the stand up OutRun cabinet, if that'll be on there or not. I'm not sure, but yeah, you got obviously your variable sound, just like all the newer games now. And I'm not going to get too much into like being just like a review, because there's been plenty of reviews out right now. But yeah, obviously you get the OutRun, OutRunners, Turbo OutRun, Power Drift, and then Rad Rally is the game that you add for extra. That sounds a little bit loud. I'll turn it down a little bit. But as I mean, you can, it's the sound on it. I mean, the parts on it, like the wheel, it doesn't have haptic feedback or force feedback, I guess is what you'd say. But like it feels really, I mean, it feels really good. It's nice, and it feels sturdy. It feels weighted. I was really worried about that, and it's good. The shifter is probably like the one part to where it's like it's okay, but it could be better. But it's like it gets the job done. I don't really have an issue with it. But in the pedals, same thing. Like the pedals could be better, but I mean, for the most part, I think they're all right. I don't have an issue with them. And as you can, I'll show some videos of the kids playing as well. I'll probably show that during this video if I haven't already. And the issue is like that they can play it pretty good, and I'm 5'11", about like 190, and I'm completely comfortable here. Like I play it at least a couple times a week for like 30 or 45-minute sessions every time, and I have no issues with as far as just comfort. The seat, the padding on the seat is fine. It feels good. I just don't. I know when I saw the Star Wars one, I was just like, oh, that doesn't look like comfortable to sit in. I feel really good in this seat. So I mean, yeah, they could make it nicer, but for the price that's at and the parts that they use with the wheel, I get it's like. You get a good like force feedback wheel, and you're talking like, you know, $300 just for that wheel. So it's like, how expensive do you want the cabinet to be? Which is why I'm really fine with what they did and what they went with for the price point. So like a lot of people act like the 550 is expensive. I think the 550 is like a no-brainer. I mean, if you get it on sale, if you're lucky enough to get it for 500 or less. I know obviously somebody will finally get it for cheaper when they drop prices, but good for you. But I think that the quality that you get for the price, for the experience with the games, is just really good. And I think it's 100%, like I said, it's head and shoulders above. If you ask me, like every other cabinet, like would you buy it again? Would you pay full price for it? You know, most of them I probably would, but I may think about it for a second. This is the one to where I'd be like, for sure, like without, I wouldn't even have to think about it. But yeah, also another reason that I put it sideways, and like I said, I'll probably put it coming out this way, eventually I may actually put it next to like long ways coming out from the wall with the pinball tables when I end up getting them. For now I just have it sitting there, and I can put a stool. I can put my Street Fighter stool. Actually, I'm sitting on it right now. But this stool typically goes right here for the Street Fighter cabinet. And if I want to play it, I just pull it out and I can slide this in, and it's not a problem. But yeah, the pedals, I mean, this is probably like why I'm not very good at it. Like, I don't think I've ever beaten OutRun. I'm decent at it, but I just don't know if I've ever beaten it. I just never used the brake pedals, so that's probably part of my problem. But I mean, the pedals, I mean, they're not the best quality, but they're, I don't know, I don't have any complaints. I really don't. I mean, I'm sure they could have used better parts, but at what price? I think to get to the price point that you wanted at, I think the parts are fine, and you can pull this out and move it, put it back in there if you want. I don't know why you'd want to. Like I said, I'm 5'11", and I feel like it's fine there. And you can slide this. You can slide this in and out, and it's not a problem. So, but yeah, I also think the artwork on the side, like this is a second decal I got from Arcade Graphics, and I think I actually got like 4 of them. I don't know if I actually like where I put that. I kind of feel like I may want to put that up a little bit more. But I got the Sega decal that I put on there, I think for like $1 or $2. And I got the Ferrari one that I put on here. You guys, I've talked plenty of times about Arcade Graphics. That's like one of my favorite companies as far as just mods to do to your arcades. Really like that. And that is one of the issues where you don't have the Ferrari, they don't have the Ferrari licensing. You got that on the back, which I don't, yeah, that kind of sucks, but it's like, it's really minuscule in the main, you know, in the big picture. I mean, when you're playing that game, I'm so focused on not crashing that, you know, it's whatever. But it just is like, it's probably the best. I feel like it's one of the nicest looking cabinets from the side, just the artwork on it. The only problem is that since it's like since it's shorter, putting it next to other cabinets, it doesn't look so great. And that is definitely one thing. It's really one that you have to treat it differently in playing your game room around it, which is the one problem with it. But if you're someone who likes OutRun, you need to get this cabinet. If you're someone who likes driving or racing games, you need to get the cabinet. It's just plain and simple. Like I said, it's the head and shoulders. I'm not even a racing fan. I'm not a driving fan, and it's the best cabinet that I have by far. And now I'll go in the back and I'll show you what I did as far as to add the other game. All right, so now on the back, and I'll kind of show you what I got. What you'll need is you get just a standard USB stick, and you get this sucker here, which I don't even know what that is. Anyway, so you can use this. There's other ways you can do this. This is, I feel like, the easiest way to do it. I had to buy this cable extra, to be honest. You may have the parts laying around, but you go to the website, you get the whatever the ROM is or whatever the update is, the update version that you need. Put it on your USB stick. You attach it to this cable, which I will put in the description. And I've seen people do it with other stuff, but up in here, you can see this little piece. Oh shit. And that's it. So you plug it in there. You can see it here, going up there. Plug it in, and you restart the cabinet. And when it boots up, it should have Rally in there. You may need to do it once or twice. Just leave it plugged in. Once you got it plugged in, you just turn it off, turn it on again, 2-3 times if you have a hard time getting the boot, and that's it. And yeah, that's for the most part it. Like I said, there's been plenty of reviews out there now. If you want to get into specifics of games and details, go for it, but that's just my opinion. So if you're on the fence, you weren't sure, is it worth it, is it not? If you weren't going to get it, you probably aren't even worried about this video or just worried about anything. But you're probably not interested at all. But if you're kind of like, it's $550 too much, I kind of want it, I don't know. Yeah, get it. So that's all I got to say. Hope you found the video helpful. See you in the next one. Later.